Hello, ghosts and ghouls. It's Emma here from Newfoundland and Labrador Public Libraries, here with a Reader's Advisory video. Hey, do you like scary movies? Do you have any plans this October to turn off all the lights in your house and settle down to watch a horror film? There are so many great ones to choose from, but did you know that there are just as many excellent horror books to check out? Join me as I guide you through some recommended reads that are just as spine-tingling as your favorite film. There is a book out there for every type of horror fan. For those who think horror movies peaked somewhere around the 1980s with films such as Fright Night, perhaps you might want to check out Nosferatu by Joe Hill. Quoted as being an homage to 80s horror, Nosferatu follows one woman's journey to track down a supernatural child-snatching being in order to save her own son. This book is just as fun and campy as it is creepy, making for an entertaining read. For those who like movies set in the deep dark woods, like in The Blair Witch Project, have you ever heard of this lesser-known Stephen King novel, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon? Much like the protagonist in The Blair Witch Project, poor 9-year-old Tricia McFarlane finds herself hopelessly lost in the woods. As she waits to be rescued, she starts to believe that there is something else out there in the woods that is hunting her down. This book will leave you paranoid about what is really going on in those woods. Perhaps you are more of a fan of dark period pieces, such as The Witch. If so, you should check out The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. Set in a puritanical village where the religious leader's word is law, Emmanuel is an outcast. However, after stumbling into the forbidden dark wood and discovering a secret diary, she begins to learn about the dark history of her village and the powers within herself. A stunning fantasy horror book that gets more and more shocking as you read on. Do you get creeped out by cult movies such as the original The Wicker Man? Then you should consider reading The Project by Courtney Summers. When main character Lo loses her sister to a mysterious group called the Unity Project, she will stop at nothing to get her back. This book drips with suspense and dread as you learn more about the elusive Unity Project. For those who enjoy a bloody slasher movie like Scream, you should check out this new release from Seth Grahame-Jones, My Heart is a Chainsaw. Much like the teens in Scream, main character Jade has a vast knowledge of horror films and how they work. It's this knowledge that comes in handy when a killer starts to stalk her hometown. While a slasher novel on the surface, this book, much like Scream, proves to be much more than it appears. Do you love gothic horror stories featuring family secrets and ghosts like in Crimson Peak? Then you have to read Mexican Gothic by Silvia Morena Garcia. Naomi travels to High Place in the Mexican countryside after receiving a letter from her cousin. What she finds is the mysterious family that lives there and their dark history. Mexican Gothic is a tense read, with the house itself almost becoming its own character, typical for the Gothic genre. For those who love anthology horror films like Creepshow, consider checking out Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. In this beautifully illustrated graphic novel, Carroll tells 5 creepy stories, many with references to classic fairy tales. Binge them all at once, or read one each week during the lead-up to Halloween. Are you not yet tired of zombie films like Dawn of the Dead? Then you need to read Zone 1 by Colson Whitehead. The novel follows Mark Spitz as he and a group of civilians work to resettle Manhattan after a zombie plague. While Dawn of the Dead helped to build the zombie mythos in the 70s, Zone 1 deconstructs and subverts them. For those who like fake documentary-style films like Troll Hunter, consider reading Dan Simmons' The Abominable. Simmons has made a name for himself creating faux historical retellings of historic events. 4 climbers attempting to climb Mount Everest in the 1920s, as well as discover what happened to some missing climbers, find themselves pursued by something otherworldly. the snowy setting isn't the only thing that will leave you feeling chilled. And finally, for the horror fans who like their films to be more lighthearted and to feature comedic casts like in Shaun of the Dead, may I suggest Grady Hendrix's The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Much like the protagonists in the famous zombie comedy, a group of Southern 90s wives are forced to protect their loved ones from a monstrous foe. Funny, charming, and smart, this is an excellent read for the more lighthearted horror fans. And there you have it, 10 horror movie read-alikes for you to check out this October. As well, all of the movies I've mentioned can also be borrowed from our libraries. Have a fun Spooktober, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!